Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the APFC welterweight division, sponsored by Roselawn Memory Gardens. And now introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall and officially weighed in at 167 1/2 pounds. Coming in tonight with a record of 2 victories with 1 defeat, and fighting out of Charlotte, North Carolina, Trey, the War Trevontay Rhodes. And across the cage, his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a striker. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall and officially weighed in at 167 1/2 pounds. Coming in tonight with a record of 1 victory and no defeats, and fighting out of Fredericksburg, Virginia, Super Saiyan Suwilanji Smith. And your referee in charge is Mike King.
Mike King, third man inside for what will be, in my expectation, a barn burner of an affair. Trey, the War Train, in the blue gloves with the black and white shorts. Super Saiyan Sui in the red gloves with the black shorts. We get going up here at welterweight. Saiyan Sui opens up with a low kick.
Beautiful 1-2 right down the middle by Suwilanji. Both of these guys taking the center. We see Rhodes looking to get right into his wrestling here, gripping up Smith and looking to take him down and power him down to the mat.
With that overhook position, I mean, just the strength of the War Train and muscle Super Saiyan Sui down. Quite impressive early.
In wrestling terms, we call that grown man strength. There's just nothing you can do about it. Once you hit 30, you get it.
There is, of course, a 10-year age difference between these two. Trey, the War Train, the elder. A minute has gone by, and we are seeing Super Saiyan Sui on his back. He pops back up.
Beautiful fast twitch, just hip motion there by Smith. Able to recover, but Rhodes not deterred, getting back to his game plan, getting to the wrestling, controlling and dragging Smith down to the mat. This is going to make a long night for Smith if he can't make the adjustments for those shots.
A lot of length as well from Super Saiyan Sui, which could work against him on his back, right, David?
Yeah, it's just harder to leverage, you know, getting in the spots and pockets you need to create space when you have that that length advantage on the bottom there. But Rhodes, I mean, let's stick to where he's at, man. Just great position here on top, just looking to control Smith. And I think he's going to try to ride this round out and just win just solely based off from position here.
Which is sort of what Trey, the War Train, told us at our fighter meetings. He wants a good, clean fight. He's going to stay sharp and stay focused. He does not want to put himself in any bad positions against Super Saiyan Sui.
Now, we've seen the refs stand some fighters up already tonight, so they want to see fights. The fans want to see fights. I don't think anyone wants to just watch Rhodes sit here and just hang on. So if you're going to be in that position, you have to be moving forward, you have to be progressing, and you have to be doing damage.
Like clockwork. Super Saiyan Sui and Trey, the War Train, back on the feet. Less than a minute to go.
Smith throwing that high kick from out, just naked, just launching those. And that's where the length works in his favor. However, when you don't set up those kicks against a wrestler like myself, I love it. When people just throw kicks and don't set them up, I'm grabbing a leg, I'm taking you down.
Looks like Smith is trying to isolate that left leg of the War Train. Bit of an entanglement that we're seeing with 30 seconds to go.
Now, if you're Rhodes here, you don't want to allow your knee to settle into the position. He did a great job grabbing that left leg there of Smith and just keeping his guard open so he can work back into a closed guard position here. And now he's safe from the leg attacks.
Final 10 seconds to go here in round number 1. Super Saiyan Sui experiencing all the adversity that was absent in his MMA debut. We head to the second frame, David.
I mean, you have to give the round there to Rhodes, simply just positional control. Rhodes didn't do much damage on top, but 2 solid takedowns, a lot of control time. You got to give him the round here. But as I said earlier, he has to build off that. I'm a wrestler. I love wrestling. I love control. I'm very much position over submission. But in between the position and submission, you have to be doing damage.
Quick replay from round number 1 between Trey, the War Train Rhodes, and Super Saiyan Sui. You could see it was quite clear what the War Train wanted to do.
Unorthodox double leg to the body lock and just muscling Smith over, just saying like, hey, I am the man here, showing that grown man strength. However, Smith didn't give up. We saw the fast twitch hip motion. He got back to his feet, but Rhodes just stuck to the game plan, got to his leg attacks, and that gave him the round, if you ask me.
With that takedown, it sort of seemed like Smith accepted that position quite quickly, didn't try to fight that takedown. We'll see what the defense looks like here in round number 2 between Rhodes and Smith.
I think once Smith felt that pressure and strength from Rhodes, Rhodes now has like a bit of a big brother effect on him, where we're not seeing Smith come forward. Look, he's marching back. He's comfortable being on the outside as Rhodes stalks him. Whereas before, when the fight started, he was coming forward. He wanted to be flashy. He wanted to be smooth and pretty. Let's see if he can build up the momentum back in his favor.
Suwi landed a nice right hand moments ago. Goes back downstairs once again. 30 seconds gone by, and the War Train yet to do much here in round 2.
That's the thing about the takedown. Now that Smith knows that Rhodes has that ability, he's a little more timid to just fire off shots from distance.
I asked Suwi why people should be fans of him, and he said, it's easy because I'm going to be one of the greatest to ever do this. That means you got to put exclamation points out there every single time.
Rhodes back in on the shot. Smith looking to maybe go guillotine. Look for Rhodes to isolate that right side to defensively put himself in a position versus the guillotine. Now he's in half guard, and as a wrestler, he's probably going to ride it here for the next minute 45 if he can.
And even if, oh wow, full mount for the War Train.
Great job building and just passing the guard. It was very sneaky, just took that left hand, knocked the knee down and advanced. Now he's in a great position to build here.
Oh, Suwi getting very loosey-goosey with the legs, finds his way back to the feet, David.
Great job by Smith building himself back up. However, he needs to be a little more economical and know where he's going. I think he was just kind of like a fish out of water, just looking for a window. He's in a better position than being on his back now, but we know what Rhodes is going to do. He's going to stick to the legs and look to climb.
Isolating the left leg of Suwi, that's going to make the base hard to build, but Super Saiyan Suwi does it for just a moment before he is gathered up by the War Train.
In a fight like this for Smith, you have to, everything you do defensively, you have to begin with the end in mind. You can't just move here and hope and pray that you get in a better position, because Rhodes is going to continue to do what he's been doing. And unless you technically put him in a position to where you can create space and get up, he's not going to give you that space.
Final 30 seconds to go. You can see Suwi trying to isolate the neck, but there is no real threat there in that position.
None whatsoever. Rhodes doing a great job isolating the feet, keeping his knees pinched. What I would like to see from Rhodes here is to get hand control and get his head up and maybe do some damage here. He's kind of morally defeated Smith in this position, but now let's physically defeat him. Let's put some pain on him.
He is landing some very effective ground and pound to the sides of Smith's hips. That's certainly going to damage him there at the end of round 2.
I mean, I guess you got to give him points for it. I mean,
any ground and pound is good ground and pound,
hey,
right, David?
I'll take it.
Round 3 ahead between Trey the War Train Rhodes and Super Saiyan Suwilanji Smith. Round 2 was much of the same, and now if you look at Smith's body language, he is beyond depleted. The Super Saiyan is gassed.
He said he wanted to come out here and prove that he was going to be the best to ever do it. Now he has to do it. We're down 2 rounds. These are the situations that make or break fighters. Here we see in the replay, he did a great job of touching. However, Rhodes was relentless in his wrestling and leg attacks. Never gave up, never gave his opponent an opportunity to do anything else but defend the leg attacks. And when Rhodes got on top, it was much of the same. Position, position, position. Through those little pot shots, not really doing much damage, just showing the ref that he's doing enough to maintain the position.
Both welterweights taking deep breaths. Suwi Smith and Trey the War Train are really running on fumes in this 3rd and final round. But if I'm Trey the War Train, I know I'm up 2-0, and I can take him down with ease.
Look at the eyes of War Train. You just can tell right away he wants to get out there and get right back to work.
Let's see what Suwie Smith has. 3 minutes remain between these two welterweights. Trey the War Train careening into the pocket.
Smith did a great job touching, throwing the jab out there. It was a bit of a lazy jab, which is kind of concerning. I just seen his posture just change over the last few rounds of this fight. He doesn't seem to have as much spring in his step anymore.
Smith says he will be one of the greatest. Now is the time to unload some magical results.
Now Rhodes, what's concerning me is he's not marching forward. I think he knows he's up 2-0 and he just wants to kind of rest here. But you cannot rest on your morals in this game. You have to constantly be making progress. If you're not making progress, you're behind. And I would hate for him to get caught.
I do love the expression from Trey the War Train. Eyes wide open, vision quite clear. But yes, the activity is not what it has been. And I believe he's only shot 1 takedown so far this round. There's the attempt.
There you go. Rhodes closing the distance. Just look for him to get his hands on Smith.
Oh!
Beautiful knee by Smith.
The Super Saiyan now trying to maximize this clinch scenario. Trey the War Train buckling under these shots from Smith. If
Rhodes,
I'm Super Saiyan, I cannot get taken down here.
Rhodes not deterred by any of those strikes as he just marches forward. Not the most technically sound grappling, but pressure nonetheless by Rhodes.
Now, if you're Super Saiyan Suwie, how do you break this lock and circle out to the center?
If you're him, you need to get his head down. Wherever his head goes, his body's gonna follow. You want to try to get what he's doing now, getting his hand on the head and get his hips back. Unfortunately, Rhodes, he's not giving him the opportunity as he just isn't letting go.
Well, if you're going to call yourself the War Train, you better be indomitable, and he has been a forward pressure machine for the better part of 3 rounds. Suwie had some success, but David, with this final minute, I imagine Trey's going to hold out control.
I think you are correct. I don't see him doing anything fancy or flashy. He seems to be very content once he gets in these grappling exchanges, is where he's on top and just wants to control his opponent.
20 years young, Super Saiyan Suwie has plenty of time to grow and evolve in the sport. Again, as an amateur, you want to take these tough tests and lessons. Referee standing them up for the final 15 seconds. Maybe this will be when Suwie lives up to the acclaim. Beautiful combination, jabs exchanged.
This is where champions are made. It's Smith, you want to be the best to ever do it. You have your moment and opportunity. Can you take advantage of it?
Excellent sprawl from Suwie Smith at the end there, but in all likelihood, this night belongs to Trey the War Train Rhodes.
Valiant effort down the stretch there by Smith. However, Rhodes just went back to his game there. Just shot all day. It's like Lil Jon in here, shot after shot. That's been the name of this fight, and I think that's going to give Rhodes the W, if you ask me.
Credit to the toughness of Super Suwie. Trey the War Train's last 2 opponents were not able to make it to the scorecards against him, and the 20-year-old did just that. Here's a couple combinations he uncorked, but David Evans, this was a grappling affair from the War Train.
Very much so. I mean, Smith, don't get me wrong, he had his moments, and there were shades of a superstar in there in frames of this fight. However, doesn't quite yet have the skills to put everything together. This is mixed martial arts. You can't just be a striker. You can't just be a grappler. You have to be good at every stanza of the fight. And, I mean, he's young. He still has a lot of potential. Tonight, the older, wiser, stronger Rhodes was able to pull it off.
He said the nickname is because he's here to run over all of his opponents. And boy, he did just that. Took a couple lumps from the youngster, but the War Train moves on. We send it inside to handsome Michael Hansen to find out the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. And all 3 judges scored this fight 29-28 for your winner by unanimous decision, Out of the blue corner, Trey, the War Train Rhodes.
Trey the War Train now 3-1 as an amateur.